begun so quietly, that first hour of my son's life in my arms. The last of the late afternoon light washed over us. His mother crossed the room in a well-deserved rest. I was holding my son, who after months in the comfort of his first home had so cleverly made himself into a baby and somehow knew how to be alive and breathe. I couldn't help from staring at the beauty and miracle I held, one that would have to learn to trust me. Life was simple, and I would learn about fatherhood from this immensely innocent and vulnerable being who needed me. This is the way of the world, the cycles of life. When I became a father, I asked my dad what he remembered about that time when I was 3 and he was a monster. I was drunk most of the time. I don't remember anything. I know I didn't like kids. I wanted the TV movie ending to that one. Son, I apologize. I didn't know how to be a father. I must have been an awful monster to you. Can you ever forgive me? Yes, I can. Kisses, hugs all around, end credits. It wasn't going to be. I realized as adults, we'd come to admire each other very much. And the past is the past. I also knew quietly that I could become the father I never had. It didn't matter anymore if I heard the words from him, as long as I said them loudly and heartily myself. It's the laughter of fellas with stories to tell, and who love to get drunk and raise true feckin' hell, or you come out with me and you'll see what you're missing in life. Streets of Dublin. Streets of Dublin. I think my son became a man that day in my eyes. And in that moment of revelation, I saw his teaching at every stage. My dad drove up to the curb in the car that drove by 2 times before. They moved the goddamn station. I went to the old one and it's not there anymore. Well, that's my, come on, get in. We hugged warmly, and I took in the man who had been slowly losing his stature to a point where he was a good 6 inches shorter. The car ride was frightening. Later, my sister would tell me that our dad's driving had become quite erratic, so much so that she refused to ride in the car when he was at the wheel. You'd think she could have told me this before. But what could I have done? So I just white-knuckled it, cringing each time my side of the car was skimming the shoulder, which was most of the time, convincing myself that, well, I probably accomplished everything I wanted to in life, and so what if this is my last day? I thought it was better if I didn't talk. No, it wasn't. Nothing made any difference. This was his car, and he would drive it until it died, or the occupants of it died. Can you imagine innocently walking down your road in life, a good person, contributing, loving, giving, helping out where you can, and hearing shouts from the sidelines that you are broken, something is missing, or worse, that you are evil? evil. Those of us who have heard those words know better. But don't you think it could knock somebody down a few pegs? The choices we make are not around our sexual orientation. But if it matters to us, how we are acceptable to others. And now, I needed to be acceptable to myself by telling the truth. He was meant to feel special, and it did him in good stead. I suddenly understood everything about my father, if one can in one sitting like that. He was the first surviving child. And he would be celebrated throughout his youth. He would never know he was anything but remarkable. My dad came from a different time. He didn't especially like kids, never got the manual, but he was incredibly smart, funny, intuitive, off-center, and loving. I strived his entire life to demonstrate what a real man is. Strong, compassionate, fun-loving, open, vulnerable, wrong at times, but most of all, full of self. Not egotistical, but self-full, as in knowing who you are, and there's no one else like you.